Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my live YouTube. Welcome to Death Doula Paula here. And, anyways, my live today is going to be pretty simple. I'm going to talk about medical aid and dying. One of the things that I'm going to be doing is when Destiny's Doors Death Retreat opens, medical aid and dying is going to be one of the prominent features that Destiny's Door will provide. There will be other things along that, but medical aid is going to be the forefront of what Destiny's Door is, along with the intentional community of living and dying, and also an educational value. We need to change how this country talks about death, handles death, how we die, what we do with it. And the other thing is, we have so little choices in this country. We have hospice. That's it. When you get your terminal diagnosis or when you get to the end of your life, the only choice that is available, that is about in religion, that is talked about in politics, that is talked about in capitalism, that is talked about politically, from the medical stance of things. Hospice, 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 hospice. And for me, that is not a choice. That is an ultimatum. That is telling someone that when you get near your end of life here as a human being on planet Earth, it is telling you that you have one way and one way only to leave this planet. We're all going to die. I mean, that's a given. How we choose to go is what I am referring to. Yes, 70% of the population in this country, more than likely, they will walk right into hospice. They will accept it. They will say, yes, this is how I want to go. But then again, there's 30% of the population in this country that can't stand the idea of going through hospice. They would rather self-deliver than end up going in hospice. Now imagine that. Imagine that you have lived your entire life and now it's coming down to the last segment and it's the dying phase. And you have a plan, right? And then all of a sudden you get to that point and you realize that your plan cannot be done in this country. And if you do, there are extreme consequences that go along with the self-delivery. And the hospice is not a viable option either. So for those 30% of the people, that's what Destiny's Door is for. That is for the upcoming generations too, that want to change, that want to bring death to the dignity and the autonomy and the respect and the reverence that we give hospice. We spend so much money when it comes to bringing in a new life. I mean, we go over the top and we spend a lot of money when people are dying. Anybody check out how much hospice costs? Anybody check out how much a private nurse costs? How any of you check out what respite or helping hands or a full-time live-in nurse costs? If you're wealthy, then you really don't have much of a problem, unless, again, you don't want to go through hospice. So, am I an advocate for hospice? Yeah, it's okay. And when I say that, I should tell people that as a death walker, when I do get called by a client or a family, or, I'm referred to a dying person, I guarantee you, this person is the out of the box person that I'm speaking about right now. this person is so traumatized and their family is so traumatized because the only choice they had was hospice. And so the the on top of all the energy and all the chaos that goes on in the dying phase, with all the family members and with trying to keep up with hospice and trying to keep up with the medical people and trying to keep up with signing your tablet and all this stuff. And then on top of that, you have a family and a dying person who their absolute last choice was to ever end up being in hospice. And no one helps that. They'll gaslight them. They'll guilt or shame them into saying, well, this is the best thing for you and you don't want to upset your family. And what else are you going to do? Well, there is something else. It's called medical aid in dying. And there are 12 states in this country that now offer medical aid in dying as a choice for the terminally ill. And I use that word. Please listen carefully. Medical aid in dying is for the terminally ill, nothing more. It's not available to mental health issues. It's not available to chronic illnesses. It's not available to willy-nilly, oh, I'm going to just send someone off to Maine because I don't want to take care of them and they're too much trouble. All those are myths. Those are propaganda. Those are things that people say when they know something is going to rival what's already in place. And hospice is the last place that wants to share the umbrella with medical aid in dying. And you have many, there's many reasons for that. So right now, what I really want to do is I just want to be clear about medical aid in dying. Medical aid in dying, MAID, as it's called, it's a legal option in Maine, which is where I'm going to be opening Destiny's Door. And it has several other states. And like I said, it's always for the terminally ill individuals to choose a peaceful, medically supported death. But MAID is more than a law, people. It's a spiritual and ethical threshold for about 30% of the population in this country. I live in Florida, which has the biggest dying population on record in this country as far as human beings go. We are the largest population that has ever been existent in this country. And there are 88 million of us. 88 million. Now, about 33 million probably have already died, but there are still 55 million more to come. And medical aid in dying needs to be recognized. It needs to be understood that this is autonomy. This is freedom. This is reverence. This is dignity for so many people. The fact of the matter is that when you talk about medical aid in dying, it is a big decision. And it is what people would call expensive. But the reason that it is expensive is because it's being projected as a specialty, as something that is out of reach for 99% of the people in this country. Even the 30% that I work with, these people still have to jump through hoops. They have to come up with money. It's not something that can be readily done. There's no insurance. It's not like you're going to hand a card and say, okay, who's going to cover it? That is the very, very, very sad thing for me. I do a lot of MAID navigation as a death walker, especially here in Florida. That's probably one of my biggest draws. That's probably one of my biggest selling points. is to help navigate and advocate for those that are in Florida or in any state that doesn't have medical aid and dying. Florida just happens to be a very red state, and they just happen to be awful when it comes to any type of, well, anyways, that's not what I'm here to do. That's for another video. So that's my biggest deal, is teaching people, educating people about MAID, how to get it, how it can be a viable choice, what steps need to be taken. That's part of what Destiny's Door is too. It's a nonprofit. I'm going to be able to have a place where people can come and they don't have to worry about the medication. It's already paid for. They don't have to worry about the travel arrangements paying for it. It's already paid for. The status and transportation of how you're getting there, that will be explained and taken care of. There will already be on the side when you get to Maine, we will already be in touch with Maine, Death with Dignity and Compassionate Choices. The community will be aware. The actual community in Destiny's Door will be prepared. We will have our pods, our living pods ready for those who come in. We will have healers. We will have Reiki masters. We will have sound healers. We will have medicine people. We will have shaman. We will have ceremony and ritual. We will allow grace, if you will. And so the purpose of the Destiny's Door Death Retreat and tying medical aid into dying is because I absolutely believe within the bottom of my heart that to be able to decide that when you have 6 or 9 months left of life, it is so important to be able to decide how you want to leave this world. And if they tell you you only have hospice, that's a spiritual violation, in my opinion. That is hurting the energy source to make them trapped inside a bioorganic vessel that's going to die on its own terms in its own way. It has nothing to do with the energy spiritual life force. Why can't that go? Why can't the body and the spirit go at the same time? Why can't the spirit lead and not the body? Hospice says, follow the body. Medical aid says, follow the energy life source, the spiritual essence, the energy that is never going to die. It's just going to transmute, transform. Why do we let a living bioorganic vessel lead the way when it's simply going to be reintegrated into the earth, going to cause new life and new food for other sources? Why does that have to be the one? Destiny's Door takes it the other way around. We think that, or I think, as the person who has created Destiny's Door, I think that there is nothing grander than giving people who are in the terminal phase of life the absolute autonomy, dignity, and reverence to choose the day and time that they would like to die. And being at Destiny's Door, you can have your own personal pod with glass windows and a glass ceiling, and the dying person has nature all around them, and their family members are there, and community members are there, and we have the reverence, and we have the ceremony, we have the handmade shrouds if they'd like to be wrapped in them, we have green burial, we have everything, not only for the dying person to leave with elegance and autonomy and dignity, but we also offer a grieving house for the ones that are left behind, a whole community to hold you and walk you through. There's a big house. We'll have gatherings and drumming and everything, especially just for those whose loved ones have just passed. So before you go back to the real world, before you have to go back and deal with all that, at Destiny's Door, my retreat, you have solace. You are welcomed and hugged, and you are taken care of for as long as you need to be, because that's what it is. It's a death retreat. It's a place of not only letting go of your loved ones as they want to go, but it's also about you, the family members, the loved ones that are left, and bringing that community in, bringing in the community and having them surround you, having the healers and the grief counselors and art therapists and other death doulas. There will be a death doula for every dying family that comes in. How beautiful. There will be gardens that we will plant, and we will teach. We will invite the community. We will invite kids in to teach them about the cycles of living and dying through the garden. We will have farm to table dinners, death and dinners, where we will invite the outside community to become part of ours. We are going to educate through events and workshops. We will have a section of yurts where drumming will take place, where all year long we will be inviting, we will add death tourism so we can invite people to see how glorious and divine dying can really be. At Destiny's Door, we will walk those who choose Maine, not just advocates, not just as advocates, but as ritualists. We are going to offer sacred shrouds, if you'd like, to be wrapped in, or we'll also have handmade burial shrouds if you'd like to pick one of those. We'll have legacy ceremonies. We're going to have earth wheel death medicine plans. We'll have earth wheels set and made in the ground out of stones, labyrinths. We will have meditation areas to sit and be still. Nature will be all around, to the north, to the south, to the east, and to the west. And a pod will sit in each one of those. And you may pick, you, the dying person, the family may pick which pod they'd like to be. Perhaps the north with the trees and the forest. Perhaps the south with the rolling hills and maybe a river, a lake you can listen to. If you choose the east, perhaps that's the last sunrise that you'd like to see. Perhaps you would like to be in the east pod, watching your very last sunrise. And if you're in the west, maybe it's because your chosen deal is to watch the final sunset. And as you lay there at night, perhaps all you want to do is when the sun sets and you look above you as the dying person and the family around you, and you look up to see nothing but the stars. Yes, this is what Destiny's Door is to be about. This is what I envision it. We will have soul-led companionship. We don't just support the paperwork. We support the soul work. And yes, there's paperwork when it comes to MAID. There are hoops to be jumped through. But with Destiny's Door and being a nonprofit, I'm going to streamline it. I'm going to make it available not just for the select few, but for anyone in that 30% of the population, and even for the 70%. Maybe some of those 70% are on the fence. If MAID were open as an open source, just like we have open source software, why can't we have open source death? Why can't we have places where people can go and choose their time and their day and the loved ones that they want? Why can't they choose to have drumming and handmade shrouds? And why not take some of the burden off the family? When they come to Destiny's Door, we do it. All they have to do is be loved ones. They don't have to be caregivers anymore. They just have to be the wives, the daughters, the sons, the fathers, the mothers. We brought everyone else. Destiny's Door brings everyone else. We bring the death walkers, the death doulas. We bring the retired hospice nurses who want something different. We bring healers, and healers for both the dying spirit to go and healers for those that are going to be left behind. We have Reiki masters. We have energy beings. We have those that simply just want to help. They just want to be of service. And so this is what Destiny's Door is looking at. This is how Destiny's Door is going to implement Maine. So we help patients feel seen, not sedated. They won't be isolated unless they choose to be isolated. It's an invitation. It's a soul invitation that you're giving to the dying. It's a present that we at Destiny's Doors are saying, here, we offer this. We offer you a place to come where we help the dying die on their terms. Exactly their terms, not hospice's terms. And why, you ask, is it just a medical aid in dying? Because that's what my clients are. That's what my niche of my business is. There are ample hospices in this country. There's for-profit, there's non-profit, and some people even do home hospice. A lot of people do home hospice. But that takes away. If you're in home hospice, the family can't be a family because they're caregivers. They have to be caregivers first. They have to be taken in and wrapped into the system. Destiny's Door offers something different, folks. That's right, we do. It's going to be awesome. And I see it every time when I dream. It's in every one of my vision quests. It's in every sweat lodge that I go. Every time I look at a landscape, I have this right back here. It reminds me of a portal. That's the portal. And I keep it up there every single solitary day. That's the portal that I'm offering. Destiny's Door Death Retreat. A simple place in Southern Maine that's going to start a revolution in death care. It's me that's going to do it. I have been planning this. I didn't realize it, but all the stories that I was told as a child from my grandmother and my moms and the elders, the whole story is Destiny's Door. That's what they were telling me. That's what they were leading me to create, to manifest, to bring forth Destiny's Door, a death retreat, dignified autonomy, a true freedom for the dying, a freedom for the family. Imagine coming to Destiny's Door and bringing your loved one and walking into your personal space. And you don't have to do anything as a caregiver. If you're his wife, you get to be his wife. We'll do the caregiving. We'll take care of all the little stuff. It's your turn to be taken care of. It's the dying person's turn to be allowed to die as they would like to die, peaceful. So I invite everyone who sees this video to think about what I'm saying, to come along and listen and join. The articles are written. My board members are pretty much set. Next, in February, I go to Southern Maine. I'm going to be looking for the land. It'll call me. Everything has fallen just the way it's supposed to. People talk about manifesting and, we talk about energy and bringing things to life and everything. Well, this is something that I am. I am bringing to life, but I'm bringing it to life so that the dying can actually say, I am going to have the best death possible, my way, on my terms, the day and time, with the people that I choose, in the place that I choose, around nature. with the elements, the wind, earth, fire, water. All of this will be involved. All of this will be in the planning of Destiny's Door. Earth wheels, vortexes. I will look for a land that has special energy, and I'll know it. I have so many powerful people walking with me. I can't even begin to explain. So I just want to come on today and do a little live and explain to you one of the first 5 things that Destiny's Door is going to do. And the first one is a medical aid in dying intentional community and education program. That's the first one. So that's what this live was. Join me next Saturday, and I'll be talking more about the pods and how they're going to be placed and how they relate to the earth wheel, how they also relate to feng shui and what their meanings will be. And then the week after that, I'll do another one. And I invite each and every one of you to come along the journey. And if this is something that resonates with you, if you feel that you would like to volunteer, if you feel that you would like to help in any way, maybe you have skills in grant writing, maybe you're a land person, maybe you're a healer, maybe you're an energy worker, any of you who feel the calling to join, please just hit me up on YouTube. You can hit me up on, you can look for Paula Adams, Death Walker. Just Google it. I promise you everything will come up exactly how it's supposed to come up. But yeah, I just thought I would take this little time to go over Maine and make sure that everyone is clear about Destiny's Door. I have the business plan already written up. I have the business license right now. The only thing that we're doing is I'm raising money right now to do the 501 C3. Sorry about that. I have a cat that's taking my distraction right now. So that will be the next thing. It is coming together each and every day. I find more and more people. I just reached two people just reached out to me yesterday. And one of them does the green burial, and she has letitbetrees.org, and it's a phenomenal way that she's going to unveil a new burial concept. So that may be in Destiny's Door. So I have, if you want to collaborate, please reach out. I'd love to collaborate with anyone in Maine, another company, any other nonprofit that sees what I am seeing. Please reach out to me. You'll find me everywhere. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on TikTok, YouTube. We have our own channel. I have a Substack account. I have several paid subscribers there. Substack allows me to talk a little more freely. It doesn't really condemn the words that I use. It's not a stickler for unalive and all that stuff. When I say I don't believe in using soft, kind words, I think that's one of our problems when it comes to death. We found all these little soft ways to say it. And so that all that has done is just made it more taboo. It's made it more hush. Don't speak dead. Don't speak death. Used unalived, lost, passed on. Those aren't going to cut it anymore, people. We've been using those for so long, and it takes away from the brilliance of what death is. It makes it smaller than life. And it can't be smaller than life. It has to be as grand and as large as life, because they go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. And one is not more important than the other one is. It's a yin and a yang. They go together. They're a dance. And we all are sitting in a queue. Every one of us are already in the queue. It's just a matter of when your call is going to be answered. How do you want it answered? If hospice and the monopoly on hospice is for you, go for it. But if you want a little ritual and ceremony and some healers and some Reiki people, reach out to me. I can make sure you have that. But if you want autonomy and dignity, and you want to pick and choose the day that you go in the manner of which you want to go, and if you want your loved ones to be less caregivers and more loved ones at your death, the Destiny Store is the place to be. Thank you all so much. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Be good to each other. Be ready for a good death, because Destiny's Door is going to be open. And it'll be ready for you. So much love. Peace be with you. It won't kill you to talk about death. Bye, everyone. Well, I guess I'm going to be on here a little bit longer. Oops.